Hey guys, in this video I wanted to give a short introduction and sort of just answer why the Lord of the Rings trading card game and give a little history of the personal evolution of the game that I've experienced. As a kid, collectible cards, card games, things like that always interested me. All sort of started with baseball cards, something my family had and was interested in stemming from my parents and uncles. Unfortunately, when I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, we were stuck firmly in and after the era of junk wax, where everything was massively overprinted and everything was kind of worthless. Any good cards my parents had when they were younger, they put in their bicycle spokes, and then what they had when they grew up were pretty much just hot garbage. There's a couple gems definitely to be found, whether they have monetary value or not is up for debate. Here's a couple of my favorites. This one actually does have some value. It's the old Bill Ripken fuckface, where he's got fuckface written on his bat knob. This was the first run before Fleer could catch it and edit it out. Here's another one, just Sammy Sosa on the White Sox. This card is not worth anything, not even as rookie, and Sammy Sosa cards, for the most part, aren't worth a whole lot anyway. But it's kind of a cool card. Sammy Sosa pre-roids. It's a lot of fun. The other thing is, other than collecting or autograph seeking, you couldn't really play a game with sports cards. You had them, it was cool to look at and trade, but that was sort of it. At the time, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Magic were all starting to take hold. Obviously, Magic kind of came first, but the others were pretty popular among kids my age. But then, I also grew up in a religious household where a lot of those games weren't allowed for their imagery or whatever the arbitrary reason of the day was. Insert Lord of the Rings, which, despite their magic and sorcery, the Balrog is a demon after all, it was something my family was familiar with and grew up with, so it was deemed more suitable when the films were released. Along with the films came the card game, and my chance to finally get involved in a trading card game presented itself. I had a friend who lived up the street who was already into Star Wars and Star Trek TCG as Decipher products, so it was only natural that Lord of the Rings followed. He sold me a custom-built deck for a couple of bucks, and I managed to grab a few boosters here and there to start my collection. It wasn't until I was out of my preteens, though, and with a real job, I was able to invest anything more than $10 on occasion into the game. And by the time I could invest more, Decipher was underwater, and the game was drying up fast. As it turns out, it ended up being a good thing. Prices bottomed out, and I was picking up booster boxes for $20 left and right. At the same time, I started getting my friends interested in the game. Taught them how to play, and we were ripping tons of booster packs, with some common cards like Demands of the Sackville Baggins and Goblin Man becoming meme cards so much that they became involved in some of our weddings. We cast our net even further in our friend group and organized the collection, as well as held our first yearly tournament in which we randomly selected strategies and then built decks according to those strategies. We then played 5 to 6 games and then did a playoff to determine the winner. But that ended up being too time intensive. It took too much time to build a deck, and we thought about how to shorten the time as well as the learning curve and then make the game a little more social. Insert a pre-made half deck. Here is some of the examples we have right here. Dwarf Stack Tail, Elf Tank, there's a Durin the Third, everything's movie block. Let's take a look at Dwarf Stack Tail, for example. It's exactly what you would think. You got dwarves, you got tails, and you stack cards. Could be good, could be bad, all depends. Using the collection, we made all these half decks based around a particular strategy, and then utilized them in our next yearly tournament, as opposed to having a deck to build, where we randomly assigned half decks instead, and then we played with them. This cut the time down significantly, enabled more games and learning to occur instead of sitting around waiting through a ton of cards. During this yearly tournament, we also changed the meta to fit more of the games and playing style that we wanted. The traditional Decipher way was to play in kind of a one-on-one thing, but that seemed to constrict some strategies to those that were already tried and established, and it limited the social aspect of the game. 4-player games were a little too long and large, but 3 players ended up being a sweet spot, with a balance of some fun and new strategies being employed, and then a teamwork aspect as well with the 2 shadow players. It also makes the game a lot more dynamic, being able to do a little bit of table talking, creating a social vibe, instead of just a 1-versus-1 atmosphere. This is essentially where we landed and played for the last 5 years, doing an in-person tournament with the pre-built strategies around the same time every year. However, we talked amongst ourselves to try and figure out what was next. what would our dream scenarios be with the game and how would we fill those scenarios. In the next video, I'll discuss what that scenario kind of looks like and how we've set up a year-long tournament around it. To wrap this up, let's do a pack rip, see what we have in it, and of course stay on the lookout for any more videos upcoming in the future as we play through the dream scenario. Let me open up this guy. Right, first uncommon, Foes of Mordor. Okay. It's good for a Sauron deck, I guess, against a Gondor deck. Bilbo's Pipe. Pipes are fun, but not that great. Sight. Goblin Swarms. Pretty good rare. Like that a lot. Oh, we got a foil. Dwarven Axe. It's a fun looking foil. A double foil deck? Pack? Wow. And it's a rare. Foil Glamdring, that's awesome. Hobbit Farmer, Defiance, Thuruk Rager, Pathfinder, and Mortar Strength to round it out. Can't really ask for a better pack there. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and hope you tune in next time.